Sorry, I'm just getting my little situation set up here. I think we're all good. I'm gonna run it back on Twitch audio and we'll get going. Sounds good on my end. Okay, so we will get started now. I want to do a quick stream. I got some plans actually later tonight. Gonna go meet old co-workers, so I don't want to go too late tonight. We'll get started. So if you're tuning in, watching the VOD, whatever it may be, we last got off. We got the third element, the water jewel. Let me go pull it up. Water jewel. And then made it to the city of Limelin. I think I keep going back and forth. I want to say it's Limelin, like the fruit lime. Limelin. Either way, we're here. We already explored this entire town, but I'll walk around as I'm giving a little brief synopsis just in case. Also, just to get it started up here. If you're watching this actual time, I have been not feeling well since the end of last stream up until about now. I'm feeling a little bit better, still a little congested a little bit, so sorry if my voice sounds a little off. Wanted to wait till it sounded a little bit good. I wanted to get some main channel stuff done, but it's putting it on the back burner. Unfortunately, I work this weekend, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to get that started, but I'll find time. So in Quest 64 here, we had the Fire Ruby, which is the last of these elemental orbs, which was stolen from Lemelin by this apparently murderer named Fargo. He took it and went out that way. Our father is not here. The only place left to go is through this tunnel, this old mine shaft that we keep getting told is very dangerous, full of monsters, yada yada yada, all that junk. So, you know, us as a little child named Brian would want to go there, but we're gonna go there. As it's our only clue to getting maybe back this Fire Ruby for everybody. So I'm just checking a few things there. Getting back the Fire Ruby and finding our father, because I mean, while we are getting these elemental orbs by these evil wizards doing the world wrong, we are still actually not achieving our full goal, which is just finding our father, who was looking after trying to get the Elatil book, which was stolen. So that's the lore dump. I'm gonna be done waffling. In the last place we checked out, Lamelin, it's a very grand city. I like the walls. It's definitely gives off the vibe as the biggest city in all of Keltland. It's very nice. I like the aesthetic of it. I think I said the song wasn't my favorite. I still stand by that. I'm not super crazy, but it fits. It's a nice stop. I don't know. It's really our last really nice feeling stop until the end of the game here. Stakes get a little higher, so we're gonna see that a little bit here. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Okay, let us get going. I don't want to continue to goof off for the time being. Like I said, I got plans later tonight. Meeting an old co-worker at a bar. Go catch up, get some drinks, stuff like that, but it's beside the point here. I can fully breathe out of one nostril and I cannot out of the other. If I have to blow my nose or anything stupid, I will probably just mute the mic, because I don't want to subject anybody to that. That's kind of awful. Either way, let's pull up the map. So, very cut and dry, very straightforward place to go. We've explored Lemelin, and all that's left is this Bara Goon tunnel. And we're going to be gooning. I came to goon, so to speak. I do remember that. Like, a lot of enemies from a lot earlier in the game are here, but I want to say they're scaled up more. I feel like the Wyvern would have died already with that much health gone. Also, God, yeah, I remember the slowdown being quite awful in this area, too. I don't know what's going on with that. Some places do have slowdown. Oh, it's already getting better with less people. I will say that is impressive, probably for the Switch's time. I'm not super big on like the tech side of things, but having all these moving models with their own animations and stuff, I feel like it's got to be pretty taxing for the 64 especially. I mean, 64 could do some pretty cool stuff. I think of Pokemon Stadium a lot, where this is the first time many people saw the Pokemon models in a full color. Not full color, full model, full color, I guess all of that. A lot of people are just used to the very simplistic sprites of the Game Boy Color, or Game Boy versions, so... Yeah, I think it's these guys that are definitely slowing down the the game quite a bit, because yikes, they are making this boy chug. Holy shit! What did I even try to do on him? We'll say, I was very happy with all the amount of elements we were getting last stream, especially in Limeland. There was a lot. Limeland, I even keep saying I'm going to suggest one way to say the name, but I can't get it right. We're already at 38, almost 40 of the fire element, and there's actually another element spirit, so to speak. We have to go around here, though. Unfortunately, Brian cannot go up a little bit of a ledge. We saw it on the map, too. There's like a little bit of a grift there you can kind of see on the map to the left of the icon there. You just gotta walk around, a little bit of backtracking, nothing too crazy, but we're getting out of the lush green areas of most of Keltland that we've seen so far, and we will see a little bit. I will say, I love the Overworld song, the one that we've been hearing for the entirety of the game since leaving Melroad, but if anyone's been tired of that, be happy to know that we will actually be changing that very shortly. This is actually the last area in the game in terms of progression that you'll hear it. It's not the last, like, overworld hub area thing, section of the overworld, but the music does change. I appreciate a variation. I think and I said it before, but not only do I like the soundtrack, I think the soundtrack is exceptionally varied for this type of game. I know a lot of people kind of use words like low budget or kind of unfinished, but I don't think music was one of those things that was unfinished. I mean, most places have a unique sound, and most dungeons have their own unique sound. And Blue Cave did, Isle of Skye did. The Forest share two different ones, which is fine. Cull Hazard had its own theme. I mean, without saying too much, obviously, too, Bara Tunnel will have its own theme as well, and a few other dungeons. And I do appreciate that quite a bit. Even the Crystal Valley was its own theme, that little area where Opona's Cottage was. I think it's the only time you hear that song. It's a nice song, but it's just kind of weird that, I don't know, put a lot of stock into something that didn't, so, I don't know. Not that anyone, I don't think, is attacking the soundtrack, since there's a billion other things that really poke at the game. Soundtrack is probably one of its highest qualities. It doesn't really have anything. But nobody really praises it either. I feel like you gotta give it credit. I think it's really good. But I feel like it's hard to tell now because a lot of it's definitely nostalgia kicking in. So it's really hard to differentiate for me. Like, is it objectively good, or am I just biased as all hell? Which, to that, I'll say yes to both. Yeah. I will say, too, we'll get into this house here, but there is actually nobody in the house. There's not, like, a rest point, unlike Cull Hazard. If you do end up falling in Barragoon Tunnel, you will have to go back to Limeland. Just be advised there. I guess nothing too crazy. It's not that long of a walk from here. I'm just doing a last little search for any spirits. You saw that one right there. I don't even believe there's anybody in this house. It's I mean, as we heard from there, it's an old abandoned mine shaft, really, so it's most likely a little break room for the workers there. Oh, shit, sure enough. Oh, heck yeah, dude, let's go. I wonder, we might be able to... I feel by the end of the tunnel, we might almost have maxed out. I might throw a couple into wind. I want to level wind up next. I don't think we're going to max all three of those before the end of the game. But if we do, I would put... obviously, rock will be our last. I did accidentally do that bump into rock. I think it's just going to have to sit there as a symbol of my fuck-ups. Extinction. That's a hard-sounding name. We still haven't had Hot Steam level 2. That's one of the last moves we gotta learn. Actually, I think it's the last move we learn, which is really weird. You think something like Extinction would be the last one we get. I mean, we got Invalidity was the last one we got of water, so... It's just something called Hot Steam, as we already have Hot Steams. There's second Hot Steam is something we're gonna get. Okay. But I will go into Bara Goon Tunnel. I actually quite like this dungeon. You know, music is one of those. So first off, it's very dark. It's definitely a darker dungeon. It has this weird urgency kind of to the song. Also, healing potion and hero's drink, both good finds there. Good to just give you, telling you you're gonna almost need it. This can be pretty dangerous of a dungeon, but it's also very much of a straight shot. Hard to get lost in here, unless you do get turned around. But it's at this point, if you've been listening in or even playing the game, I try to not run from many enemy battles as much as I can help it, and you'll do the little flipping towards your last direction. So these Will-O-Wisp enemies can fuck you up pretty bad with their fire. I think they do fireball level 2 or 3 if they all hit, so it's level 2 at least. I'm gonna get close, but they obviously are hella weak to water. So at this point, if you're not maxed out in water, I don't know what you're doing, but second of all, use water to just pretty much take them out. Just be careful. Getting ganged up by a lot of them can be very deadly. No, it's just like the look of it. It does its job well as an abandoned mineshaft, and we heard something about some ruins and stuff. So it's a cool little area. Not much more in the lore of it, like what happened, why. I mean, they found the ruins. Sorry, not ruins. Ruins, and then probably unleashed monsters. But like, I don't know. I would have loved to see maybe still like a few miners in here, like just mining, doing some stuff, and just, I don't know, or even something like thieves or other miscreants kind of deal. Like, oh, since it's abandoned now, they can use this as a way to get through. But this is a main way through to the other areas of the world, as we're really in the two main sections. I skipped that in the lore a little bit of the beginning. I don't think I actually played that when I started the first stream. But if you like stay on the title screen or like watch the intro cutscene, it does give you some beginner's lore to the world and a little bit more about it if you were curious. Which is more just saying that, you know, world is comprised of like the 4 elements, and the land you're in, Keltland, has three main sections. Ruled by 3 separate kingdoms. I apologize. Can I hit these? These guys seem so much lower to the ground than the others. No. So, same deal before. Sorry to cut my own talking off here, but these enemies are annoying because you... Oh, maybe you can hit these guys physically, but you see their swaying makes it kind of impossible. And there you go. I just skipped my turn to kind of prove the point there. Be careful if you're doing that. That's all. I dislike these enemies a lot just because I feel like your physical attack should be if you can... You have no other option, but then you're just kind of actually boned because there's no way to use it besides wasting items or dying or running, which I'm not a big fan of, but... Anyways, back to my own thing. I think the 3 places, I forget the exact names, I believe Kenishire. We heard Solvering talk about it. I'm gonna grab a drink there, my energy drink. I mean, shout out to these ants too for being probably the most used enemy in this game. Holy crap. They really like this design, apparently. Either way, Kenishire was the kingdom of Dondoran that also encompassed Melrose in that first little, like, 2 sections of the game. Carmag is definitely, I believe it's Carmag is the second one, which is ruled by Lemelin and Queen Diana. Deanna, sorry. Which also encompassed West Carmag, which had like Larapool, Normoon, and a few of that areas there. All the Loch, Kilderly, and stuff. And then the last section, which we're more or less crossing through in the through this tunnel here, which is kind of like the point of no return, I guess, so to say, is I think it's called Brannock. At least that's the name of the castle that that's the third kingdom of. But I think there's some more lore about Brannock too. I think Brannock was like a city of steel and stuff, which I don't know if they did like trading with Lemelin with through the tunnel, because I'm assuming they probably did exporting. But I don't. It would have been interesting to see more of that fleshed out with more NPCs. But I mean, it got a good stuff. I mean, so far we got like, you know, Dondoran was very much so a place based off of like pottery. It was sculpted by the earth, which is why, because, you know, they were really taking into consideration oh wow, that's pretty good. Tried firebomb out. You know, using the earth orb to its fullest, sculpting the land through the ground and all that stuff, yada yada. Normoon had the windmills and stuff, and it was very just, I don't know, place that was guarded by a bunch of old sages, druids, and stuff. Larapool was just, I think, more felt like really tourist attraction-y, and even though I don't necessarily think it says that straight up in the lore. It's kind of my headcanon, where it feels like the, you know, destination land to go to. Like, that seems like a place like a couple would take each other kind of deal, you know. I'm gonna run. I hate these guys so much. I think these are the last of these stupid variants of flying enemies. Thank God. I'm getting this weird unlucky streamer luck where I can never get the variation of enemies. There's more enemies in here. I know there's at least one main enemy we haven't seen yet. It's kind of one of the enemy designs that pop in my head when I think of the tunnel too, as a dungeon. But Lemelin was just kind of rich. Obviously, with their ports, they probably did a lot of exporting around outside of the country, or maybe to the other parts of the world. Well, a little bit of everything, but just probably a bunch of merchants and traders. I'm assuming that would probably have a big say in how their economy went too. But I like that. I love that about world building. It's kind of why I sadly wish I could get into more D&D and stuff. I would love to make my own world. I probably would be a terrible DM. I have no idea how to start, nor would I probably want to. But I kind of like that idea of like the world building, adding stuff about like why, you know, the trade aspects and all that stuff. Here's the enemy I was talking about, the ghost. This guy's got a goofy ass smile that constantly moves around, but I don't know. He just comes into my head when I think about this dungeon. He's not like entirely scary. I say the scariest enemies are definitely the will-o-wisps, which only really could get super scary if you aren't careful. Which might be like the biggest no shit like moment of all time, but it's like, hey, you take damage if you aren't careful. Yeah. But I feel like Lemelin had a lot more trades with all the stuff. I mean, they had the mines. They probably did a lot of, yeah, very, very water-centric area by the lake, and then I'm assuming that was, I think that's towards the ocean. I know they have the map of Keltland, and I think some people have like online like fans of Quest like made like a little like area of like where the actual towns and areas are in relation to the actual map. It shows us at the beginning of the game. It's kind of like an island. I mean, its name is it takes its inspiration very much on its sleeve with Keltland, Celtic kind of stuff like that. especially a lot of the words. I mean, how many people call you laddie? The lake is called Loch Kilderly. You know, it's not like it's really trying to be subtle on what it's mimicking. You know. Reminds me of last year I played Far Cry 4, which was like I forget the name of what they called that place, but it was literally just India, but not India. I don't know if that was like to avoid some weird like I don't know if it's like to avoid like not copyright. That's not the word I'm thinking of, but like defamatory things. Thinking like somebody trying to claim that like maybe like. Because, like, obviously, like, the main villain, or, like, Far Cry are always, like, chasing down some weird freaking villain. And since, like, the main guy, Pagan Min, was, like, some weird dictator or psychopath, maybe they wanted to see if they could avoid any controversy of somebody trying to claim that they were unfairly portraying them. I'm not too sure, but unless they're just being, like, facetious is the right word maybe I'm thinking of. I don't know. I think they do that with all their games, though. Sorry, I'm just... I swear, if I ever check my phone, it's usually for semi-important things or things I want to hope are important. But I do like this little area now that'll segue into it. It's one of those I like to call no encounter zones. So make sure your healing's tapped off, get your magic up. Obviously, I just think it would be very not fun to battle on these little boardwalks. But I don't know. I like the design of this place. It's kind of cool. It just is. I don't know. Well, yes, it's like another tunnel. We've already seen Cull Hazard. We've already seen Blue Cave. It is very much a standout from all the caves. And once again, spoiling this for anyone who's really excited, there's one more cave-esque place to explore, even though it does its best to try to vary it up. I will say it's better than Blue Cave, but that's not saying much. I don't know. I just like the abandonedness of it. Really feels good. Like the boardwalk, still pulley lines, all that stuff, and like these areas widely opened up. Like, I guess in the sense it feels like it has a purpose, as opposed to maybe some of the other dungeons. Like this was just a tunnel that was, I'm assuming, well, just probably to be used to facilitate transport between the two regions of Keltland, but then became more of a place to, you know, mine resources and all that stuff. And eventually was abandoned once they discovered the ruins and found monsters among them. Yeah, when I think about this game a lot, I feel like a lot of it might be up to interpretation on a lot of things, but I feel like I have that weird thing where I nitpick some games like that. Another one of my all-time favorite series is Golden Sun, and I really wish that game got more love. But all that being said, I kind of do a lot of, what do you want to call it? Reaching, stretching, just kind of context. And there's Hot Steamboat, but I think we've learned every move that Fire has to offer, but we'll max it out. We have 5 more. It would be kind of stupid not to at this point. So, yeah, do a lot of interpretation, but I feel like that's the fun of it. Gives me something to discuss about. Obviously, there's not like too many people I would too many people I can like discuss Quest 64 with. It's not like it's got a huge fan base. But I like it. I like thinking about it, theorizing, even if it's with myself sometimes. Or like shit posting with people on social medias and stuff just about Quest 64. Even with my friends, they not really play Quest 64, but know among it as just like a game that's not super crazy good, and I just kind of shill it because it's really that. I don't know. It's a great. I love it. I go back from thinking it's a great game to it's not really that great, but I think it's a good game concept with a lot of flaws in it. But I understand why people don't like it 100%. I'm not even going to be blind to that fact, but moving into the actual game conversation again here, we're actually in those said ruins that were uncovered here. And, of course, those guys are going to hit us from here. Try walking water. I got one of them. It's another one of those areas I feel like you can get definitely lost in a little bit, so just, you know, keep track where you're going, that's all. Other than that, I will feel like it's going a lot faster than I remember it. I feel like in my head, as like a kid, everything was a lot longer, so me actually going through this, remembering this part was a lot closer to the end than I remember it being, so. Will-o-wisps again. I swore they got more than 2 hits on you, because either that I had like a lot less health on one of my last times playing this game, because I remember these guys really potentially being, I guess, somewhat scary to deal with. They even die in one water pillar. So. But that must be a good sign, I'm hoping. Because there is I think I said at the end of the last stream too, there is a boss at the end of this dungeon, so do you want to be prepared. While I'm saying the run back isn't super crazy long, you still don't want to do the run back. It's not fun. It's definitely one of the longer run backs in Quest here, so. Tap off that healing real quick. I don't think there's any secrets hidden here. It's just kind of going through this like very maze-like structure until we get a little closer to the end. I think these are all, we've already seen all the enemies too in this area. There's not too many variety. Okay, so we're already here. I mean, they say it's not too bad, but they still are doing like about 40 damage to you with the 2 fireballs, so. I guess if you didn't do a lot, we did spend at the Isle of Skye at the beginning of last stream. We spent a good 20-something minutes at least just grinding up some hit points by just taking the biscuit out of you. This would be a pretty okay spot to do it with the answer here, the ghost of the lightning bolts. But I would say it's a lot better to do it somewhere earlier because you're a lot closer to a place that you can get healing from, like the boat, the Isle of Skye. But hey, that's like what, 6 points of hits right there. Was that 5 or 6? 5. Maybe 6 if all of them connect. I don't know if there's any more that can connect, but. Oh, whoa. I've not seen that where I got the healing off before the elements showed up, but I thought I heard that sound right. We'll put more in fire there. I really want to start wind, but I also just want to get fire out of the way so we're not having to just sit with like a few left. That would probably make me as well as some other people upset, I'm sure. This area can be a tad annoying. I know if you're trying to get all the items here, and then the weird structure combined with enemies can still, you know, encounter and attack you in this area, so just make sure your magic's topped off, I guess, would be my best advice. I'm just gonna get... Ooh, good freeze. Okay. Trying to be right in front of the spirit when we're done here, just so I can get it out of the way. Oh, okay. Cool. Alright. I think there's some treasure chests, too. I don't think I'm wrong. Uh-oh, there it is, there it is. Was that a spirit as well? Hey, hey. We're gonna get 50 before the boss, I wonder. We're gonna be there right now, we're 49 maybe, but that'll be exciting. I don't know if I've ever had 2 procced out at this early, but I know. I don't know. Shall we? I don't think. Let's see what homing arrow 2. It's alright, but it'd be good if it's like single target. Fire definitely feels like a very good single target type of element. Did we do magma ball? That's the one I'm thinking of. I think we've seen it because it's like that. I called it the pooping spiders from the earlier forests, but they just kind of do that like cross pattern. It didn't look like Brian shoots it out in a cross pattern though. Oh, vampires touch too. What is that? Oh well. Trying to see. I wonder if that like does it give like a drain effect to our staff? I actually don't know. You know, I really should look some of this stuff up off camera, but I kind of like not knowing everything. But as I've said in the past, fire is probably my least used element line I go through, so I wasn't too upset for having to go down the fire path too, because it gives me something to experience. I know water pretty well, since water is pretty much a staple in everyone's playthrough of this game for obvious reasons, but Drain Magic's also been coming in clutch very nicely too, so I do appreciate that. Alright, Dewdrop. Why now? That just seems so unnecessary to get a Dewdrop. I mean, I'll take it, but like 10 MP at this point in the game is not a whole lot, so I mean, alright. I won't say no to free shit, but that does some pretty good damage. These guys must be water. Well, I don't know. They're using the steam too, so I can't. Did good damage though. Of course, we're learning fire in an area where we're not going to be needing a lot of fire. I mean, I think the writing's on the wall. We still have to we still have to get the fire ruby, which is most likely going to be held by a magician with the same type affinity. So, well, I've said many times that resistance don't play that crazy. I mean, we mastered out water, but still did pretty good against Nepti, which is water as well. It would have been cool to have like a maxed out fire for that, but I've tried runs where I've like tried to prioritize another element that's not water, but just not having a healing spell cripples you, I feel. Yeah, I don't know. I think add that to my things of I would want to try to redesign if I possibly could. Either make more types of healing available on different elemental trees lineups, or have like a few spells that don't align with any elemental affinity, but you can still cast them and cost magic points. I know that would somewhat defeat the purpose of the whole magic system where you're going in one direction of the elements, but I don't know. Then I would change things too, probably like get rid of the wings as an item and probably just turn it into like kind of like how Dragon Quest does Zoom, where you can fast travel to any city you've already been to. That way it doesn't, you know, either that or you can pay like a fee. Like I would obviously have gold and stuff in there, but like have a fee where you could pay to get the wings and add it to your spell collection. But use that as a spell that even could cost like nothing, but alright. So we'll say make sure you're prepared. There's no enemies in this hall, so run back and forth if you need to. As we see, there's not only a spirit behind this, but there's somebody standing here. Judging by the outline, I don't think it's a fire starter named Fargo, but We're gonna get it. I'm Shilf, a servant of Mammon. I've been waiting 1,000 years for him to return. If I'm correct, I sense but 3 precious stones. Alright, so Milf, I mean Shilf here, is not Fargo, but a different boss. This was definitely a surprise to me as a kid, that there's another boss that's just kind of here, serving Mammon, which I think it's the first time you actually hear that name in this game at all. I think we'll just start with the Yush trying to use a Soul Searcher on her. 1,000 damage. And that move can do pretty crazy damage. That's, I think, her far away attack. I don't remember if she has 2 or 3 attacks, but there's nothing super crazy. You probably just want to get closer range to her than anything. Well, that missed. Wow. So I'm trying to do something different here, and then this is what's getting me pain. Pain and suffering. Suffering and pain, if you will. Can I hit you now? 88. Okay. I think she says she's wind type. Oh, that attack. That's her signature attack. And I used to make fun of, or, I don't know, me and my brothers used to have some kind of like laugh over that, because that attack just sounds kind of goofy, like, oh, you heard it again. I don't know. It's a very goofy thing. I don't know. This character in this area and that move all just have some weird kind of like place in my brain, I guess. Okay, that does some good damage. About 120 there for that was 2. I meant to do a fireball level 3, but I don't think this should be too bad. Then we just got to be careful, watch our health a little bit here. So battle is, or this whatever called, this battlefield is very odd too. I will say with the weird kind of layout of this entire all the giant pits or whatever. I'm assuming this is also part of the ruins the game was kind of referring to when you talk to a lot of the NPCs, but okay, we got a decent amount of honey breads. I don't think I want to use a healing potion just yet. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of times to use that later. And with how her attack goes out, I don't think there's a way to dodge left and right of it, even though it looks like you might be able to. It's really not going to work, I think, so. Let me see. I think Fire's been doing this pretty well. I kind of want to see what like a Water Pillar level 3 is going to look like, though. Oh, wow. Significantly less. Jesus. Okay. Well, not significantly less, but if we get all 3 fire... Yeah, if we get all 3 fireballs, that's going to be some big damage. That's like 150, so yeah, something 40-something difference there. I think we'll drop another honey bread. We're getting to the point where I probably should just use up that fresh bread since it's not going to be super helpful. And she's dead. I found her to be super crazy hard. I always struggled with Zeus and Nepti a little bit, but I also used them as a lot more earlier. I think this is where as a kid I started using a lot of items just so I could make sure I'm not doing the run back of Bara Tunnel, because, well, I mean, what, we're 40 minutes into the stream, so like a 30-minute run back or something like that. I don't know. It'd probably be less if we ran from battles too, so. Either way, Shilf is now dead. Rip Shilf. That's all she says. She had 2 lines of dialogue. A very nothing burger of a character, but her attack animation had a funny sound to it. I don't know. It just lives rent-free in my head. With that, though, we are 1 element or spirit away from getting 50 in fire, which I am happy for. Let me... I'm not actually good here. And we'll get started in wind. I think we're just gonna have to sit at that 2 and rock and let my sins haunt me for the rest of the time here. But we are done with Bara Tunnel. That was it. Nothing super crazy at the end there. But we get a new song. And we're at the desert. So welcome to Dimdom Drives? Dimdom Dries. Dimmadome, Doug Dimmadome, home of the Dimsdale Dimmadome, some shit like that. This is a very large map, as you can see. And yeah, we're in the desert. This is kind of the entrance of like the third kingdom that I was talking about. And yeah, it's very deserty here. I don't know. I like the song though. It's a different type of you know, what do you want to call it? Different kind of atmosphere to our previous Overworld song, but still kind of got that same kind of idea behind it, where it's I don't know, very triumphant, very adventurous kind of sounding. I like it, but I feel like I've said that about every song in this game. So go in here, speak to our resident man named Jesus in this random tent here. Hi Jesus, how you doing? My, what's happened to you? Did you lose your way in the deserts? You must be tired from your long journey. It pleases you. Why don't you rest yourself here? So yeah, just to save your time here, you can hang out at this little hut. Game is tight. Yeah, I know it is. I love this game. I know it's definitely got its issues, but I love it. Now we have Mastered Fire. That's exciting. Thank you, Jesus, for lending us your magical powers. But that way we don't have to do an annoying run back from the tunnel if we were to fall here. So I guess grab that the second you get out of the dungeon there. So I'm checking behind here because my brain tells me to check, but I already did anyway. So either way, we can start exploring here. I am actually quite excited to. So looking at the map here, our next destination will actually be towards that area called Boil Hole. Great name, first off. We'll pass through the village of Greenock there, and there's this big area to the bottom right, which you'll definitely want to check out. Trust me, it's worth your time. But other than that, we'll just go. There's a house actually really close here, so wait. Actually, is that the house? I think that's just referring to the tent right here, so... there's another house, though, in the little sands here by that very expansive area, but we want to check that out, and I'll talk about that when we get closer to it. The enemies here can be pretty dangerous. Obviously, it's a new area. Shouldn't you go to the pyramid now? Yeah, that will probably be my next spot to go to. These blue men, I love their little goofy designs here. Did not mean to use Ice Knife, but the Oasis, yeah. I missed that completely in like my first few playthroughs of this game as a kid. I don't know why I didn't even think to check that area out. I just thought it was not there, and of course I didn't read the dialogue as a kid where so many people are hinting towards, hey, you should probably go to that big open area. There's something over there, I swore. These guys are kind of messing me up. Also, they have a lot of health. Jesus. Heal really quick. Something gave me a free turn for the frozen dude. Thanks for being frozen, my guy. Great. That's awesome. I'm gonna risk it. Oh, balls. Alright, that's not gonna be fun. Actually, yeah, I also want to get there for the, all the spirits, just to gain. That'll be definitely good. And fighting in the battles on the way will at least get me a little stronger, since these guys are kind of rocking me down right now. I mean, to be fair, we're also right outside the tent, so it's probably not that crazy if I die right now, so... And the lore, yeah, the lore is actually, I guess, if you were curious about the game's, I'm gonna risk it. Ooh, that was good, that was good. Lore is, if you want to, like, talks really about the, I think, like, what do you want to call it, like, all the pre-stuff before the game. I'm blanking on the word right now, but, why can't I think of it? I think that's just kind of like background for a lot of the characters. And yeah, that's also very not good to get into this battle with this much health and magic. I see these Werecats is one of the designs I feel like the community memes on the most, but I think you can probably see why. They're referenced a lot. Just want to make it to this little house here and also give us a time to restore some of our magic here. I hate war. That's why I ran away, but it's lonely here in the desert, so far from town. Long ago, when we all got along and lived in peace, this was a green valley, but now I've heard that there's a lush and beautiful kingdom still exists in the south. Can it be true? Yeah, and that's the guy that really lore dumps on you that you maybe should spend some time checking it. I'm gonna raid your personal belongings, buddy. Thanks for another set of giant shoes. We've yet to use them, but I have talked about how they're pretty solid items. I wouldn't use them unless you're probably in a boss battle, just because it's only you only get them so much. I believe Wind is the elemental path that has a move similar to that, so I guess if you mastered Wind or wanted to do that path, you can. So we want to go to the valley that he's talking about here, and there's some sort of kingdom he's talking about. That, or I guess there's rumors of it. This is a very wide open area. I don't actually know if there's random things here, so I'll try to take to the point I know where to go, because I know where the general area is, and there's a wayfinder you can find very shortly on that I'll be using. I don't know if there's like hidden like elemental spirits in the area. I don't really explore the entire area top to bottom, if I'm being honest. You go to where you need to go and get out. Wouldn't be an area, don't blame me if you pull up the map every few seconds to just check to make sure you're going the right way, because especially with running from the battles, because you might want to be running from the battles just to get to where you're going here. I neglected to mention these butterfly-esque enemies. I want to say they can, I don't remember if there's a second variation of them, but I think they can have the potential to silence you, so making all but your staff useless, or basically everything useless. Silence, you can't use magic. If you played other RPGs like Final Fantasy, you know that. So, not great if you do get hit by them. Yeah, the nightmares. I think there's the ones that can. Obviously, I think they prioritize just blasting you with Fireball, which is fine by me. I don't think getting silence is high on my priority list for sure. Let's try Ice Wall here. Hoping I could freeze him, but that's fine. And being a desert, it's no surprise that a lot of the enemies are more fire-based, but which kind of sucks as we just got maxed out fire. You tried out the Japanese version? No. Is there much difference between that? I don't know if there is. I guess I haven't looked too much into it. I know it goes by a different name. I can't remember if that was... It was Holy Magic Century and everything. That version was more polished in the US? Okay. No, I actually haven't. I maybe should check it out at some point. I know I like this game, and I know there's some improvements they could do, and some maybe polishing is definitely. Remember, I'll look into it off stream probably. That sounds kind of cool though. But I know sometimes regional differences do have that issue, or not issue, but thing. Oh, there it is. Trying to use the silence right there. Actually, missed obviously, but luckily these are flying enemies you can hit. So. Oh. It's called L-tail monsters or something like that. Okay. I do want to try out. I've never actually gotten too far into it, but they have like the Game Boy version, like Quest Brian's Adventure or something like that, which is more or less just a. I think it's a retelling of this game, but in Game Boy Color format. So, which I think is kind of cool. Definitely see it being less or more restrictive, a little less fun maybe, but I don't know. I like this game. I played this game a lot. It's actually kind of weird. I've only played like maybe the first like 20 minutes of the game once on like a old Flash emulator site back years ago. I thought it was like a sequel or a spin-off of Quest 64, and I was like kind of already thinking like this is the same game, and sure enough, I think it is, with a very few. I think it had a few like cutscenes I think in the game, so. But it's been a long time since I've played that specifically. So for these dudes, this is definitely not going to be fun, but especially since I don't have much magic. Do I want to run? I might want to run. I don't like running. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, yeah. Play this game a lot when I was a child. I had to repeat every time I turned. Oh, yeah. I had that problem with a few of my games before. I think I had dumb Kim brain where I didn't realize that the memory card was in the controller pack for the N64 sometimes. So, my big game of my big offense with that was Banjo-Kazooie. I kept doing that because I would always restart the game and not realizing that like there was more than like the first 3 worlds because I'd just restart every time I'd play the game. But I also know that you can accidentally restart the game by like. I think if you go on like file select for Banjo-Kazooie, you hit like Z and A at the same time, and then that's like how to delete the file, and then it asks, "Are you want to delete?" And you hit A again, and it will delete it. So I think I would just be hitting buttons trying to get the game to start, and then not realize that I'm accidentally deleting my save file. Luckily, I think mine was save file number 1, so I didn't delete my brother or sisters, or else I probably would have gotten a lot of flack for that. I'm surprised. Oh, okay. I'm surprised I dodged that. These new enemies are not too crazy. They're just, I want to say these are just slow and tanky guys. They have a smaller variant that I know is a little bit more infamous because of their very terribly slow animation. I mean, you already see they're not super fast with their walking, and they are. I don't know what bro's doing, but you can kind of dodge that move at least, which is nice. I like. It almost looks like you shouldn't be able to dodge that, like the rocks all closing in on you, but seems like you can. I don't know why my stick is just not working on these dudes, but there we go. Alright, this is not great. I see you. I see you. Cool. Going a little bit more wind now. Oh, there we go. We finally started to see it. So, after you start going a little bit in this open area in the desert, I'll kind of show you where we are just for context. So we're about, like, kind of almost dead center of that big open square. There's the flying crystal-looking thing. Just start heading towards it. That's where you want to go. But you know you're in the right direction if you are seeing that finally, so... Sometimes I feel like it takes a lot longer, mainly because of... I'm trying to do as many battles as I can, but part of me also just wants to get to full health. You can evade attacks like one magic rocks. This game's a bit like an action RPG. Yeah, I think the basis for this game is super cool. I think there could be improvements on this design. One of my biggest things is maybe having some sort of way to show like a radius or aiming of where your magic would go. Or even like a way to just check description, just to be like, because you know, if you're playing this game for the first time, you know that Water Pillar, well, you have no idea knowing that Water Pillar is just going to be a very close range melee spell, in a sense. But it's a little bit of trial and error, which is, I don't necessarily mind. But sometimes it's really hard to tell what a spell does without either A, looking it up online, being in the age of the internet, or just trying it out on an enemy and hoping something works. But I really like the you know, the kind of your like little fighting range. You can actually evade attacks somewhat. Obviously, some enemies have AoEs or like homing attacks, but even then, you can start evading based off your agility, I think. I can't think of many games that have something super similar. I never played this one, but I know my older brother. He played it's Breath of Fire, I think it's 5, Dragon Quarter, I want to say that's what's called, on PlayStation 2. He said the battle system of that kind of reminds him of this. I played Breath of Fire 3, I have not played that one, though. But we talk about Quest, because he played Quest as a kid, too. A lot of my family did. All my siblings had, but that was the one he remembers saying something, having like the closest he could think of. I mean, I think there's room for it, or maybe an RPG and like nowadays could go up and kind of improve on it. I know for me, like on the PS2 when I played Final Fantasy 12, I was kind of not sure about its battle system, but that was like one of the first times I played something more of an action RPG-esque kind of game. And I wasn't super crazy about it, but then I got really into like the Xenoblade games, which have actually a very similar kind of battle system to 12. There. I have some of Club Nintendo's magazines with this games guide. Yeah, I guess that was the thing. I never had the like Club Nintendo Power stuff. I know that's where a lot of people got it, like guides and stuff too. I do have a couple more just for like kind of collector's stuff, just because obviously everything's on the internet now, but I have a few guides, or if I go to like a used game store, I'll see like a cheat guide or one of those guides. I have a few like Pokemon. I have Golden Sun, The Lost Age. I think it's just like a guide, one of those like Primo guides or whatever they're called, that just have a bunch of secrets and stuff. I like having those just for collector stuff. I think they're super cool. And the Spanish version, as you're from Chile. Oh, that's really cool. I think I just saw something too, because I was you have the magazines with you. That's awesome. I was like doing some research off camera in between a few of these streams and seeing that, like, I know he's called Brian in the States, but goes by something else. I forget in the other games. There's like I think one for like Europe and PAL, and then there's one for Japan too. I can't remember the names of them off the top of my head. I don't want to Google them right now. Anyways, you can go in this circle, like the middle of this circle of this little pyramid type thing. And there's no map, but you can kind of see where you're here. It's just called Shamwood. It's a mystical castle of some sorts. Also a very optional area. I like the music. I like the area look of it. A really cool oasis-y castle looking place, but yeah, off the top of my head, I know there is actually, so there's a spirit you can get, and I forget exactly how to get it. You gotta, so it's obviously a singular path right here, guided by the little balls of fire, but there's a way to, you can go through this. I remember there's like a invisible path. Oh, there we go. You gotta go like all the way around, I think, if I remember correctly. Bear with me as I'm trying to do this entirely from memory, and it's been a few years since I've played this game. Oh god. I think, hold on. See, I'm making progress here. I feel like I can... Oh my god, I will get this eventually. I remember that in one of the magazines they showed a beta version of this game, Space World 96, and had other characters. Yeah, so I think I don't think I actually mentioned this, but I was talking about my own, like, kind of crack theory of having extra playable characters, and apparently, yeah, that was almost confirmed in the beta screenshots. There was 2 characters, which was, I believe, Princess, I think her name is Flora, the Princess of Dondarin, where we got to meet her. She had obviously a little bit more of a detailed model. And then Leonardo, the other mage that looked very similar to Brian that we met in Normoon. Both of those apparently were going to be a playable party of 3. I think that was, I guess, from all the beta screenshots. There was actually an in-game screenshot looking that there was at least 2 playable characters, including Brian and the princess, Flora. So that would have been super cool. I also just recently saw what I was looking in. Also found that path finally. That they had a sequel plan that had 2 playable characters. One looked like Brian, so I don't know if it was supposed to be like maybe a descendant of Brian, maybe his kid or something like that. But it was cool to look at for sure. I got canceled, obviously. I think, I don't know if it was, I don't think the game necessarily sold or reviewed poorly. I think it sold well, like okay. I think it reviewed alright to my knowledge, but I think it had something to do with the studio. I mean, it's Imagineer. I don't think that studio's around anymore anyways, so. Another spirit if you go to the entirely opposite end of here. I like how we're kind of ignoring the very big elephant in the room being this giant Oasis pyramid thingy. We'll go up there. As I kind of were saying earlier too, there's that extra hidden lore here, and there's some good items too, so it's definitely worth your time, if not for just fighting a few of the enemies to and back, just to get some extra experience here. Now I think you can circle around these other areas. I do not believe there's other spirits or like little spirits around, so I don't want to waste our time here by just circling that constantly. I do just kind of want to actually go in here. So first off, we have a room full of a crap ton of treasure. So let's get these first 2 spirits, get a couple towards the wind. There we go. Jesus, let me hit that for a sec here. Silent flute. I don't know why that was singled out as like the most important item, being against the wall there. Giant shoes, another pair of those, so I maybe should try to remember to use these in the next couple boss battles here. A dewdrop as well, again, just like last time. A little weird why they've had them in here. Silver amulet. I know there is a item that I think I've only seen in this area here. A dragon's potion, very nice. It's full MP recovery again. Celine's bell. Spirit light, that's the full HP recovery. The first time I think we've actually seen that in a treasure chest. We got the rare item drop from an enemy very early on, but... And a healing potion. Okay. Not the item I'm thinking of, but that's fine. I think Imagineer had a good IP and concept, but they were lazy or maybe didn't have enough time. Story development was poor. Yeah, with the story, that like so many characters drop little story things that make it seem like they had something more planned, so I don't know if it was they got lazy, like money problems, or like I really don't know. I'm very curious to find out what happened in that. It made me seem like they really wanted to make something, but kind of just stopped. I know I think a lot of the online consensus is that like they didn't care about this game, but I really don't think that. I think it was just something held it back, and I really don't know what. Our last little stop here is actually going up these stairs right here. A very cool little area here, but I know we have a little bit here in terms of wind now. We have 8 knocked in the wind here. So we have Wind Cutter level 2, we have Restriction 1, and Evade level 1. Evade is very self-explanatory. Restriction, I think, restricts movement. We'll try them out in battle just so I can make sure I'm not saying wrong things here. But yeah. Oh, you can actually go fully around there. Wow. Alright. Oh, haha. Can't fool me, bastard. But yeah, speaking of story development too, this is very hidden off as extra, but I feel like it's almost near crucial stuff here. So we see this very crazy looking dude. First, with everything, I'm just gonna loot his entire room of spirits, so we'll get up to 12 here already. A very kind of wacky design. Looks almost like he would be like a boss or something like that, but once again, has very big story relevance, so we'll actually talk to him real quick here and see what we got. His name is Lavar. What have we here? No one has found this phantom city in 1,000 years. I am Lavar. I once held the Elatail book, but when I opened it to unleash its incredible powers, I was not worthy. The only powers I could control were those of famine and destruction. I could hate but not love. I could terrify but not inspire. Finally, the great magician Epona came to my rescue and freed me from the curse of the Elatail book. But my penance is that I have been exiled here, alone for eternity, or until the evil that we call Mammon is defeated. Only then will you find my final peace. You, with the precious gems of untold power, are my only hope. The only one who can free both myself and all of Keltland from evil. So, yeah, just casually drops that. How he was basically the cause of everything in the entirety of this game. We also hear the second drop of Mammon, the first one being from Shilth, but we'll go into Mammon a little bit more, but Mammon is this ultimate evil that seems to be released when he used the Elatail book. With that a golden amulet, we'll talk about that in just a sec here. But yeah, so this man caused most of the events of this world to, happen, transpire, so to speak. And Epona, as we see, seems to have some magical powers too, more than just being an overseer of the water jewel, as we were maybe led to believe at the beginning. And now he's just been kind of hanging out here. What the heck? Hold on. Sorry, let me check the... What is that supposed to be? Like, that's just a graphical glitch out in the distance there? At least give me the staff. Yeah, right? That staff does look pretty kind of hot fire. Yeah, so he's like the whole cause of everything. Just casually drops that he was the cause of everything, and that's why the Elatail book, I guess, must have been... I guess it doesn't explain fully why it needs to be held in the monastery, unless that the people of the monastery were just the most trustworthy people to hold the book to make sure that it didn't fall into the wrong hands, but we saw that clearly didn't happen. I know there's actually a guy who did the very good lore summary on YouTube. I just saw it recently. It's like, I think his name's like Level Jake, LVL Jake, all one word like that. And that's all there is in Shamwood here, so it's just kind of a cool little side area you can check, but I definitely say it's worth your time. Either way, Level Jake, I think he does like a good compilation of like all the characters, all the lore, all that stuff, and just really does a good job of trying to sum up everything for a viewer. I did watch it a while back, and it's a good watch too, especially if you don't want to just go play through the game or read all the dialogue. I don't know, I can't remember if he takes like translation differences, because I know sometimes lore channels will do that, where they'll take a little bit of differences between maybe like the Japanese, English, or other translations, see if maybe the developers meant something different from all that stuff. But yeah, we have also at now 13 wind, which is crazy. Silence is actually what these guys are probably trying to do to us. And we have large cutter and wind cutter level 3. Wind cutter level 3 is very good. Obviously, our numbers weren't that crazy, but I should say wind cutter level 3 is very good when you get it up to max level wind. It's that thing where it can hit many enemies, but it also can do massive damage to one singular enemy. I hope to see the recompiled version of this game for PC. Yeah, right? If I had, like, knowledge to mod, I would definitely do that, to, like, maybe mod a few of my personal ideas of what I feel like I would want to change in the game. I don't know. Or maybe add, like, even if it just be, like, I knew how to add, like, a tracking system or something like that to see where your magical spells would hit before you actually can cast them. Just some mainly quality of life things I would probably do. Maybe I'd want to implement some sort of actual, like, money system and equipment stuff, since we really don't have that here. But I have, like, zero knowledge and or talent of modding, so that would probably not happen. Magic trajectory is random, I guess. Yeah. I'm sure some people would argue that that'd be, like, part of the charm of the game, and, like, you're supposed to learn that yourself, but... And I'm not, like, saying it should, like, the Falling Stone's magic. Yeah, that's true. maybe at the very least, I would add like a description as you're hovering over a magic thing, like hurls one rock at an arch in front of you, or a melee ranged water pillar, you know, or give you like a range thing, like, hey, you can use this long range, you can use this close range, this is a homing attack, so you don't need to worry about aiming. Something to that effect, where you could at least tell the player what to do and how to make things work. Mainly just kind of help ease of access a little bit with players. But yeah, I mean, definitely feels like there's a few things missing. One of them, I was even saying, kind of just a lack of cutscenes. I think like I played the first like 10-20 minutes of the Game Boy Color one, and they only really had like, they had a cutscene. I feel like they had it, and they had like actual characters talking to each other. From what I remember, it's been a long time since I played this, mind you. But even like the lack of, I guess, proper cutscenes. I mean, there's obviously like you could call the cutscenes when you're about to fight one of the bosses a cutscene, but even then, it's still lacking somewhat. And all the characters seem to say stuff. We don't really know much about those magicians who have all the elemental items until you actually talk to them, or until you A, talk to them, and B, talk to maybe some of the NPCs around them. Like, Zealous is very much a nothing character unless you actually dig around to his, I'm going the wrong way, wow. Let's see how we try to get out of here. Don't really know about him except for being some sort of wandering magician who really kind of kept to himself with his little, like, mercenary troop that he was with. Brian's father came out, went to buy cigarettes, and never came back. It's so true, though. So this is all because Brian wants to get a couple cigarettes from his father. Oh. I don't think I've ever seen that. I guess if you just try to go far enough out, you just get turned around. That's actually kind of cool. I'm glad the game won't just let you wander forever into nothing. Big preach on that end. Oh my god, I just want to get out of here. Part of me is just saying to maybe, you know what? Actually, that might be a good idea. I think, oh, that's a spirit over there. Okay, I think I'm going to just fight these enemies, grab that spirit, die, and then go respawn next to Jesus, Desert Jesus here. I guess Jesus was in the desert, what am I saying? Desert Jesus is a little redundant. Go respawn to Jesus and maybe start from there. So I'm not going to really worry about healing super hard. Awesome songs. As I said, there might be more elements hidden in these, like, kind of the dunes are out here, but if I'm being honest, I couldn't be bothered to check. If I'm missing one or two, it's not the end of the world. I mean, you saw me just get a good, like, 10, 12, 13 from Shamwood alone. Now we have 14. Okay. Now I'm gonna go get beaten up in the middle of the desert and get respawned by Jesus. So, give me a moment here. No, I need you to hit me, please. Thank you. I want to die to the butterfly. Shit. Not when I want to die, I can't. Is that how this is gonna work? Okay, please. I'm a frail child with 10 health left. Good. Good. Thanks for saving me, Jesus. I appreciate it. Okay. Healed up there. So now with this entirety of the, I guess, right side of the map checked out for us, we can go to the town of Greenock. So we'll go that way now. Should be less of a struggle to get to there than Shamwood itself, so. I thought you lose progress if you die. I don't think so. I think the only really penalty you get is if you used up any items during a battle or two. No, luckily I just... I think some people say they like to just go to a... If they want to like level up and grind levels, they'll just sit next to a place to heal like here and just maybe take damage and not heal themselves because... Taking damage is how you'll gain defense and health points and all that stuff, so. These blue men really are kind of like the final boss of the desert here. These guys are really kind of messing me up. I'm surprised my staff does a lot of damage to them, too. For a sec here. Awesome. We're also seeing the magic start to get a little bit better too with Wind Cutter. I think it's pretty solid. This is one reason I do like wind a lot. It's very helpful to do. You don't need a lot of aiming with that, which might be nice if you're having trouble trying to aim and hit enemies. Well, Earth is very much so. Oh, excuse me, big yawn there. Very much so more just kind of aiming and hope to God you can hit enemies with your large rocks, but... Awesome. It's a great start here. Oops, I am out of magic. Okay, we want to go this way. This little first section of the dries is kind of iffy, mainly for the fact that you are not really... I guess it's kind of hard to keep a direction just because of all the dunes and whatnot. But, oh my god. If the wild encounters want to give us a second to breathe, she kind of started to see over this other dude. Oh my god. Bro, do you really want to fight that bad? It's not that big a deal. Okay. Oh my lord. What do you want with me? I'm just a child. Alright. Got completely missed his attack. Awesome sauce. Let's go. Let's go. But yeah, getting over here, you kind of see where, towards the town of the Greenock, where you actually kind of, the path narrows down a bit. The rest of that's all dunes. You probably just want to go here. So you're gonna have to play In the Distance. Was that a elemental spirit or a graphical glitch? My favorite game. Side game of Quest 64 here. Oh, that is a spirit over there. I do appreciate that. Spirits are very easy to point out, even in the overworld like this. You don't have to get, like, super close to them. Large cutter is, as it sounds too, very similar to Zelf's very, the homing, or that close-up attack that he used. If you need a melee wind spell, that's kind of your go-to. It does cut through enemies too, which is nice, if you're getting kind of ganged up like that too. Since I know the homing has some kind of weird issues with, if you're like in somebody's face for an enemy. We should be fine. So we definitely could have taken one more hit, that's for sure. Just like to make it a green knock without losing our lives, that'd be cool. That'd be like wicked if that would be true. Damn it. They're really like suffocating us with these dudes though, holy crap. Oh my lord. I just want to get it. They won't kill me, but yikes. No, there's just a spear right here. Where's it at? Where's it at? There it is. Jesus. Game, please. Work with me. Okay. I'm going to avoid the cat ladies and just continue on, because I don't really feel like fighting them right now. I gotta be honest. Alright. Ooh, good freeze proc. That's awesome. Poor Brian. Okay, finally, on our way to Viridian City, or on the road to Viridian City. This is the Blue Man Group of all time. Oh, they actually got silence off of me. There you are. Since there's only one of them, I'll stick around to fight. It has a chance of wearing off just for a time, but yeah, very not good, as that even completely screws you over and you can't heal, so be careful if that is you. Honestly, might even want to recommend running from the fight. Luckily, I don't think bosses do any of that silencing crap, so thank God. So, we're here at this little place. Oh, excuse me, voice cracked there. And we're actually in the village of Greenock. As you see, there's not a loading screen or no way to what's kind of the word, you know, it's not like transition into the town. There's no music, in fact, even. But this place looks a little tough. Let's actually go to here. It's one of the only buildings that seems we can go into right now. And we have this dude here. Bronze. If you lose healing potion, I'll give you another. I have a few left. So, this is an interesting character as he can give you healing potions. However, as you see, this is the item shop. There's actually no wings here. You cannot actually go back to this location. And this also door right here is completely shut down. Like, it's whatever, destroyed, melted. I don't know what's going on. And yep, that's the village of Greenock. There is a item shop, many destroyed houses, and the inn. So let's go see if we can figure out what's going on in here. So going in here, first of all, Shannon's here, so let's talk to Shannon. She'll give us our dump as usual. Master Brian, King Beegis of Brannock Castle, has somehow gotten his hands on enormous powers. It is he who burned the city to the ground and made the townspeople suffer, and he did it only to test his strength. So there's that. Going up here, I think there's a few random people here who are still alive. Cat height. King Beegis uses evil powers to burn down the town. My son got lost and is missing. I'm about the only survivor. I won't give up. I'll keep waiting. He might come back. I pray he will. Curious. It sounds like there's not another person in here. Yeah, that's it. Alright. So, yeah, without saying, I mean, there's unfortunately not too many characters to get the lore from here, but are you really from the monastery? Then please say a prayer for us. King Beegis has been most cruel. If you're thinking about going to Brannock, you best think again, but if you insist, rest here before you leave. So, Brannock is our end destination. Greenock is the only really last place you can go to, the last place that's going to be more, I guess, hospitable to you. It's a very cool piece. Actually, I do like this area a lot, mainly for the like very subtle story. Not, I guess you could argue how subtle it is, but the storytelling here is enough. It doesn't have to have a cutscene or anything. You hear about King Beegis. I think this is the first time we've heard of him, but he more or less just showed up here, destroyed the entire town, left only 3 survivors if you exclude Shannon, and everyone else is either dead or missing. Just because he could and could test his power out. Very cool and kind of freaky that like this entire town has been leveled in the middle of the desert for no reason other than this guy could. Very... Oh, there's these enemies. I forgot about these magma fishes. Can't believe I also got their name right. I can do a V too. Yeah, I wish there was a little bit more explored with this that area, but it's a nice area, and really all that we see left of the game. I mean, so far we've kind of fought in rogue mages and stuff who've had just, you know, been thieves or random people who power the jewels, but all the rest of the people have some association with King Beegis. Or Mammon himself. Mammon seems to be some big demon man who sent Shilth to try to get the stones from us, but it's hard to say right now whether King Beegis is working with Mammon or a different entity entirely. Oh, excuse me again. It's kind of it's cool to show that the characters, you know, before just, you know, like Solvering was just, oh, he was a thief who stole our thing. Okay, cool. Zelfs was a random magician who came in across the Windshade and was in the forest. But now we're actually seeing the enemy's power, which is not something that this game's done, but other games have clearly done it, so it's not like that super crazy of a concept there. But we see, I guess we saw it in Lime 1 too, where there's that, they're talking about Fargo, who is a murderer and broke out of jail, or we saw the jail broken out of, nobody was guarding it, and the death of, or somebody who helped, like, seal him away initially, I forget his name already, Striker or something like that. But in Limeland, there was that one house that was like fenced and boarded off. Honestly, it's not really stated specifically, but that's my kind of headcanon, where that's most likely the person in terms of Fargo who murdered somebody. Like he murdered that person and killed them, and that's like house is like a crime scene, hence why it's like boarded and just sealed off for nobody to go to. that'd be another thing I'd actually throw into this game too if I could, like quests of some sort, side quests. Because that would be like a cool one there, where the lady was talking about how her son was missing, and you could go maybe find him, whether he was alive or dead, somewhere in like the sands, maybe lost in the dunes out there, and you could find either like him needing help, you could heal him, or he could just be dead, and you find like a pendant or something, give it back to her, get items that way or money. Because that's something that obviously is very much lacking in this game, which is sort of like side quests or stuff. There's not really a reason to go back to towns, which I think that would have been cool if there was. Even if they're very basic stuff, you know, go find NPC, talk to them, kill X amount of specific types of enemies. That would have been an easy one to incentivize grinding, because I know a lot of people will say they end up just running from a lot of battles. Since there's a certain point you really don't need to do as many battles, I will have to admit. Oof. Going to an hour 30 right now. Let's see. I might just explore this area and then maybe just backtrack to Greenock, and we'll see where we want to go from there. I don't think I'm going to do Boil Hole in this stream, just because that's a whole nother dungeon and a boss at the end of that, which I think I want to save for a separate stream, just because doing two of those at once in one stream might... It'd be a lot, I'm going to be honest. In terms of length-wise, I want to say it's about the same length as Goon Tunnel. Cool, 18 already. It's kind of crazy. We entered this desert here with only, well, just starting wind, and now we're on nearly halfway through, which I bring up every single time so far, but I'm happy with it. I like it. Another reason why I want to try to do as many battles as I can is just I want to see how much I can get to getting close to maxing out the elements. I'm sure you can if you spent the time, but I feel like at that point the grinding would just be insanely annoying, because it'd almost have to be entirely battles, grinding battles for the last element alone tree. Which would be something I don't know if I would want to change, because, you know, maybe there would have been better if you could experiment and you could feasibly get all 4 elements in a run through. On one hand, it definitely helps with replayability if you were to replay the game doing different elements. However, so I'm just checking the map to make sure I'm going, because this area is kind of, as you see, very funky. And I know there's a few elements kind of littered around here. And there's the first one I missed, but that's the entrance to the next dungeon. I'll just go get that on our way there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that little idea, though. If you would make it easier to level up your elements to experiment more. I think an easy way to balance that would be have like maybe more of a magic attack stat. And the magic attack stat would level up a little slower, maybe more like the originals, because obviously having 50 in water can make you very powerful. But that way, like the levels toward water more mean that you're just gaining new spells as opposed to like becoming stronger, I guess, if that makes sense. I'm not doing great. I'm trying. Oh, he did die, just took a very, very long time to die, jeez. Ooh. Really trying to get that off, okay. Hey, not the target, but I got the magic drain, so that's awesome. yeah, but that's one thing where I'd really like it to have a little bit more of a variety in your elements. One way is, I said I was talking about maybe having a healing spell being like a non-elemental, just you learn spell, get it normally, maybe early on in the game, just so you can have a way to heal. And you can choose to level it up or something like that, but have different types of healing depending on your elemental path. One I can think of is like having some sort of regain ability where you maybe like gain maybe a very small set of health points every turn. So like you can cast it and then maybe you'll gain like 10 hit points per turn. Something to that effect, you know. While the water is just a flat heal. You can at least have like a second elemental path with some healing abilities. That way it makes it... Or even like having fire, it's that vampire touch I was talking about, having it sort of a draining move where you, instead of healing, it's like a vampirism, a drain effect where you just take health from an enemy. So I could see that playing into some cool builds, I guess. Because as most people talk about the game, you really want to just start by getting water because of its healing. As you see now, we're at 200 health, and I mean, a heal can be anywhere from like 40 to 50 health, 50 health restored, which is super big if you can get it off, but... Alright, sorry about that. Bruh. That's just one of you at least. Alright. I just want to get to this top area to check off if there's any spirits here, but we'll also say we got ourselves a crisp 50 magic now, so pretty cool. Oh, that's this way, so this way should give us to the other tunnel. Let's actually know what this area is now, because I always kind of wondered what it was supposed to be. But I'll talk about it when I get up to the end here, so give me a sec here. Bear with me. Ooh, that did a lot of damage. Kind of the same thing, because he does that same kind of magma ball ability. You just want to make sure you're not super melee, as in you don't want to... Yeah, you don't want that. Okay. Where are we going? This way. So also just heal before I forget, or else that's going to be a bitch and a half. I do think this little like area past Greenock to the Boil Hole area is kind of annoying because it's just a bunch of twists and turns, and with the constant battling you have to do because of the rate of enemies spawning, it's not fun. I will be honest with you. Hey, stupid cat. floppy. Anyways, I came up here simply for the fact that it's a dead end, yeah. So if you see on the map here, this is, it doesn't tell you anything, but it actually is a shortcut to an older area, which I guess could help you. I guess that would be your fastest way to get there, but it's, if you remember correctly, a few streams ago we were at Cull Hazard, and right near the end of that there was a random little ramp you could go up where it had a blocked off area. This is where it leads to. However, you need the Fire Ruby, which we do not have yet. Similar to how you needed the Water Jewel to get through the Glencoe Forest and Blue Cave passageway, this opens it up. I just found it out recently, like in between like the last stream when I showed off the Blue Cave shortcut. Makes me feel like if we had some sort of reason to backtrack, it'd be nice. And hey, if you wanted to get the guy at Greenock who would give you a free healing potion, that would be a great thing to do. However, that's, you know. I think I'm just gonna die to the enemies. I'll just keep fighting and die there. That way I'll go back to Greenock and I'll end it here. I kind of have to go to the bathroom, which is perfect timing on my end here. Also, it's getting to that point. I got about an hour before I want to start leaving for my bar plans tonight. So I guess I won't even bother. This next hit should kill me. Farewell, Brian. Fortunately, I will not be going to Desert Jesus, but it's okay. All right. Gonna talk to the dude here. And next time we'll actually take on Boyle Hole and go to the next area, our last area. I only see like maybe not too many streams left, I gotta be honest, so. Feels like we're kind of narrowing it down here. Regardless, I do appreciate anyone coming out. Crystal, and thanks for talking, VG Shrine TV, I appreciate you. I brought some cool stuff there. Shout out to you. Shout out to anyone else too. I'm going to end it here, though, guys. I'll throw up the VOD probably tomorrow. Anyways, have a great rest of your night, guys. Take care. Have a good weekend. I probably won't be streaming this weekend, so you guys take care. Farewell, guys.